Hey everybody, this is Modern Refugee. Just got back from some of my follow-up appointments that I had here, and we did some grocery shopping. And I thought I'd take a few minutes to discuss how our pantry fared through this medical emergency that I went through. Now, the last time that we did any type of serious grocery shopping trip was about the 10th of December, and it is the 25th of January today. So it's been a good 6 weeks um, since we really bought anything, other than maybe just small stuff at the local convenience store. Um, so I wanted to take this time to go over, what we went through in this, kind of crisis time. Um, there's certain things that we used a lot more of than others. Now, the first thing that I want to mention, you probably guys already know this, but I'm kind of the cook of the house. So I literally can make anything from scratch if I want to. And of course, I was down and out. So I didn't do any cooking, especially anything from scratch. So, the big bags of beans and rice and the normal prepper staples that people put up. My family really didn't do anything with that, because that's sort of my deal. And another thing is pet food. I make quite a bit of pet food to supplement, the expensive store bought and pet food. So we went through a lot of pet food, and we went through a lot of the stuff we had in our pantry that was sort of, I don't want to say pre-made meals, but stuff that was more like one pot meals. Stuff like, a good example here is like this Zataran's dirty rice. Stuff like this that we had in our pantry is what we just burned right through in the last 6 weeks here, because my family could just, take this, cut up some sausage, take a can of pre-canned chicken that we had here, stuff that we had canned last summer and last fall. They could throw that together and they can make a one pot meal. Not that they can't cook, but it's stuff that they could prepare easily and not straight up from scratch. So that kind of stuff there, like that Zatarans, stuff like ramen noodles that you can throw some peanut butter, some canned chicken in, a little soy sauce. You can make yourself a little Asian meal, stuff like that. Stuff like dehydrated hash browns. That is the kind of stuff that got tore right through here in the last 6 weeks. And our freezer's down by about probably 25%. And a lot of the stuff that was used out of the freezer was basically thrown on the grill to be cooked. Stuff like sausage, that kind of stuff that's easy to make. That was the stuff that got used basically first. So I thought it was kind of, interesting to look back here, what we used in this situation, because, every emergency type situation is going to be different. Now, if I'd have been here and I'd have been, in good health and I'd have been cooking, the stuff that would have been used out of the pantry and out of our stores would have been completely different than what had, transpired here. So we started buying a few things here. This is, started buying some chicken. This chicken was actually on sale. It's boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and it was $1.99 a pound. You can see there that this it's got an expiration date at the end of January of this year. So this is actually a really good deal. We bought some of this. The store actually sold out. We're gonna try to go back later in a couple of days. They said they were going to get some more in, and we're going to see if we can't get a little more of that in to bolster back up our freezer. Some of the things that we went through because of my illness, what I actually consumed and ate during this, because I was on a liquid diet most of the month of December. And some of the things that I used a ton of was this guy right here. Honey, I probably went through a gallon of honey at least. I put honey in pretty much every hot drink that I had for the whole month, specifically, just to boost the calories that I was taking in. Um, Things like soup base, went through a ton of soup base during this, and I had a real problem with my potassium. Every time I had blood drawn, my potassium was just rock bottom. So they literally wanted me to just pump the potassium. and they actually gave me potassium tablets to mix in with drinks, and they actually gave me, when I was hospitalized, they gave me potassium in the IV bags, which actually hurts like hell when they're giving you straight up potassium on a high drip into your veins. Oh boy, that burns. But I was pounding basically power drinks, Gatorade, Powerade is what I've been drinking. But this stuff by me out here in the country is stupid expensive. It's like between $2.50 $3 a bottle. But at the big city Walmarts, these are $1.08. So I bought like 30 of these at the big city Walmart. So I got these here, and I can continue to boost that potassium. Nutella was another thing that I went through just a ton of, because I mixed this with the hot cereal and stuff that I could eat. Nutella mixed with hot cereal like malto meal and cream of wheats and stuff actually gives it a much better flavor, makes it much more palatable. And this is going to sound cliche, but Campbell's chicken noodle soup, and Campbell's soup in general, there were a couple different ones that I used. I went through just a ton of these because I didn't have enough energy to cook, and I didn't want to make anything from scratch. So these, condensed soups were a lifesaver. I went through a couple cans of those every day the whole time that I was sick. So you can imagine I burned through what I had here. I burned through quite a bit of it. And I'm actually going to start to replenish all that now. Every time I go to the store here over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to buy a few these 4-packs of the Campbell soup, and I'm going to rebuild that. Teas was another thing. Herbal teas and regular teas, stuff like this sleepy time and stuff. That's what went with the honey. Went through a ton of that. The family went through a ton of ramen noodles and stuff, because I have adult children that come home from work and stuff, and they just whip themselves some stuff up. So anything that was like a dried soup mix or ramen noodles, any quick type meal like that, we burned through in our pantry. And probably the thing that was the big thing that really helped out having in my preps was protein powder. Now, protein powder is something that I just recently added in the last year or so here to my preps. Talked to some people that I know and that I trust, and they said, hey, you should have some protein powder in your preps, because you can mix that with stuff. You can boost the nutrition. There's a lot of nutrition in that protein powder. And in my particular situation, trying to heal after surgery and trying to get some nutrition into me while I was having this medical emergency, I'll tell you what, that protein powder was a godsend. I've been mixing that protein powder with anything from, instant pudding to ice cream to whatever that I could have, even mixed straight up like in coffee or whatever. I've been putting that protein powder in. So this right here is something that it really proved itself to me, and I'm going to keep in my stocks basically from now on. And another thing that that protein powder got used for, there's different recipes where you can make like these little protein balls where you mix them with like peanut butter and stuff and oatmeal and whatever. And the family actually made some of those up to take as snacks to work and whatnot as well. So that's kind of what I went through here with my pantry. Like I said, the stuff that like helped meals along, like that Zatarans and stuff, and the ramen noodles and whatever. Those are the things that really came in handy for my family to cook when I was down and out. So don't always have just rice and beans. In your preps, have some easier to make stuff. And I don't have any, I guess I have Mountain House and MREs and stuff like that here, but for me, that isn't food that we would eat on a day-to-day basis if there was some kind of emergency. That's more for stuff that you put in packs when you're going out to either work or hike or do stuff like that in the outside. I mean, more or less what we stock here is basic grocery stuff, and then stuff that we either grow in the garden or we can ourselves. But thought this was an interesting look back over the last few weeks of what I used, what I didn't use, and sort of what got depleted from the stores. And we're going to start now to replenish all that stuff and get that back into our pantry, because a full pantry is the best investment that you can ever have. But anyway, this is Modern Refugee. Appreciate all my subscribers out there. Hope you guys got something out of this video here, just from my experiences. Anyway, you guys have a good one.